Measure and Mix. Today I am making some Dollar Tree DIY outdoor decor, and this is part of the outdoor DIY collaboration that I'm joining in today that Jennifer from A Little Bit of Calm and Crazy has put together. She brought 5 of us YouTubers to make some outdoor DIY decor for you guys and put it all in one place. So there is a link in my description box for the playlist, and you can click on that and watch all of our videos back to back. I love these ladies. They are so talented. So if you don't know who they are and you aren't already subscribed to their channels, when you are over there watching their video, click that subscribe button because you don't want to miss any of their DIYs. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I would love to have you stick around. Please hit that subscribe button here and don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. All right, let's get to it. All right, for this first DIY, I'm gonna be making a lighted garden turtle statue. I thought that these oval-shaped baskets looked like turtle shells, so I'm gonna be using 3 of these baskets, one for the turtle shell, and then I'm taking this other one here and cutting it up. I'm just taking the rim off the top and off the bottom of the basket, so I'm just left with the wire mesh material, and I just cut that in half. It's pretty easy to cut with scissors, but you could use wire cutters. So now I'm going to take that piece and measure it on top of the basket and just cut off the size that I need. And then I'm going to hot glue that piece to the top rim of the basket and cut the excess wire around the rim so that way it's even. And then with the other piece, it was just enough to place over the other side of the basket and hot glued it down as well, and then cut the excess wire off. Now there is a little opening in the middle of the basket still, but that's okay because this is going to be the bottom of the turtle, and it actually worked out in the end because I had to change up the lighting, so that little opening doesn't matter. Now for the turtle's feet, I'm going to use 4 of the smallest clay pots that Dollar Tree sells, and I am just going to place those upside down and glue the bottom of those pots to what used to be the top of my basket that I covered. So it was a little difficult to glue that wire down to the basket. So I just used a little wooden dowel to stick through the wire and push it down onto the bottom of the clay pot so that way the hot glue would stick, and it worked out well. With the last basket, I used that to shape the head and tail of my turtle. So I just cut a piece of that wire mesh, and then I kind of just rolled a piece of it up and made it look like the head and neck of a turtle as much as I could. I actually ended up changing this one in the end off camera because I didn't like the way it was shaped when everything was put together. But I attached it the same way. I just pulled the wires of the opening of the neck of the turtle through the shell of the basket, and then I did use some hot glue to secure that neck to the shell of the basket. And then for the tail, I just rolled up a piece and kind of flattened it out and pushed each side to a point, and then hot glued one of those points inside the basket on the back there. And it is finally starting to look like a turtle. Next thing I did was take some white spray paint, and I just gave it 2 coats of white spray paint. Now that the white paint is all dry, I am going to hot glue some of these glass gems from Dollar Tree all over the turtle's shell to make it stand out. So I just started at the bottom of the turtle shell and worked my way around all the way up to the top. And the hot glue actually secured them down really well. They didn't fall off or anything like that. And I'm sorry I can't tell you how many bags that I used of these because these were all left over from projects last year. If I had to guess, it was probably 3 bags or 2.5 bags, something like that, but 3 to be on the safe side. Now for the top of the turtle, I was going to cut a hole and put a solar light in the top of the turtle. So the solar part would stick out and the light would be at the bottom and the inside of the shell, so that way it would light up. But that didn't work out because my Dollar Tree didn't have any solar lights. So I'm gonna do something different. So I just ended up hot gluing some more gems on the top to cover it all up. Next, I'm going to use this white all-purpose caulking from Dollar Tree. It comes in these little tubes. All you have to do is cut the tip off and it squirts out just like icing. And it's so easy to fill in the gaps in between the gems with it. I just squirted it out in between the gems and then I used my finger to kind of spread it out and make sure it was even. And then I also wiped it away from the gems if it got onto the gems. It was really easy to wipe off. I ended up using 2 bottles of this caulking to do the whole turtle and it looks like it's grouted. I gave the caulking 24 hours to dry completely and this is how it looked. It turned out really nice, but I just thought it was missing something. So my son actually gave me the idea to give it some eyes with these green glass gems. And I thought that was perfect because I think it really made the turtle come alive. So I just hot glued 2 of the gems to the top sides of the head. And I think it worked out really well. It did actually make the turtle really come alive. Then the last thing I did was add my lighting. And you can see here where my little hole in the center actually works out perfect because I'm going to feed some of these fairy lights into the inside and make it light up. For the second DIY, I'm going to make a little fire bowl with these Tiki torch canisters. I just removed the canisters from the Tiki torches, and now I'm just going to remove the wicks from the canisters and set those aside to use them later. Next, I'm going to paint all 3 canisters with some black spray paint. And then once those are dry, I am going to use one of these tins from Dollar Tree and fill it up with 3 bags of this sand that comes from Dollar Tree as well. Next, all I did was replace the wicks back inside the lids to the canisters and place the lids back on the canisters. Once that was complete, I just took the canisters and nestled them inside the sand. And then I used some of this river rock from Dollar Tree. I used 2 bags and placed that around the canisters inside the tin. And that was it. I just added some Tiki torch fluid to each one of the canisters and lit them up. And I had a cute little fire bowl.
Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue. And you're taking me
For this last DIY, I'm going to make a BOHO outdoor lantern. So I'm going to use one of these baskets from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove the handle and save that to reuse it later on for this lantern. Then, like with the first project, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to remove the wire mesh basket part. And then that way, this is going to leave me with the top ring and the bottom ring around the basket. Now with the bottom ring, I am going to remove the wire mesh from inside that ring because I only want to be left with just the ring. So I just use my scissors to cut around that. Now there still will be some wire that is hanging off the rings that kind of sticks out, so you want to be careful when you're handling this so you don't poke yourself or cut yourself. But once the wire was removed, I just took some little pliers and just pulled off those pieces that were still stuck to that ring. It was really easy to pull them off, and I did the same thing with the bigger ring because there was a few little pieces on that as well that I needed to pull off to make it just a metal ring. Now I'm left with 2 metal rings, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this natural raffia from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take a strand of it and use a little bit of hot glue and start on one side of the smaller ring and hot glue that raffia down and then just wrap it all the way around the ring. And when I ended the strand, I just hot glued it down and then started a new strand. It doesn't take very many strands at all, and it doesn't actually take that long to wrap it. Now with the bigger metal ring, I did have to wrap where the handles were on that top of the basket. So I just wrapped some raffia around the inside of that little circle and hot glued it down, and then also wrapped it around the top side of that circle, and then just continued to wrap the raffia all the way around the ring. I did that to both sides so that way no metal was showing through. This is what both of the rings looked like after I got them covered with the raffia. You could also use a hula skirt if you can't find the raffia at Dollar Tree. Next, I'm going to take one of the bamboo tiki torches that I had left over from the last project I did, and where the tiki torches hold the canisters in, they come apart pretty easily and even all the way down to the thickest part of the tiki torch, if that makes sense. So I just pulled them off. And then once they were all pulled off, I just broke them apart to make them a little bit smaller, because I just didn't want my lantern to be that tall. You can make different size lanterns with these pretty easily, but once I broke them in half, I did use my scissors to kind of cut the jagged ends off a little bit, and then also to even them out. Now it's time to attach the bamboo to the ring. I'm going to start off with the bigger ring because that's going to be the bottom of my lantern. And I'm just going to take a piece of the bamboo and use some hot glue and attach that to the inner side of the ring. And I just started where the circles where the handles were attached to. I started on those ends. I did that one, and then I went and did the opposite one, and then I did the opposite one from there, and so on. So I ended up with 8 pieces of bamboo sticking up. You could do more if you wanted to. It's up to you. I just did the 8. Now you do have to hold the bamboo sticks for a few seconds to secure it onto the ring while the hot glue dries. And it isn't super secure at this point, but this is how it looks when I got all of the bamboo on. And to make it more secure, I am going to use some of this raffia again, and I'm gonna wrap it at the bottom of the ring and the bamboo and hot glue it on to both of those pieces. And I'm going to wrap it in an X pattern around just each little bamboo piece that sticks up at the bottom. So that way it secures each piece to the ring a little bit better and it won't be wobbling around all over the place. Now I'm going to attach the smaller ring to the top of the bamboo pieces, and I'm sorry it is a little blurry here. I couldn't tell that I was out of focus, obviously, so I'm doing my best here, but basically I attached the smaller ring just like I did the bottom ring. So I put a little hot glue on the bamboo and attached it to the inner side of the ring. Now these bamboo sticks do have a little bend to them, so that helps out a lot when you are attaching these, but I again did each opposite piece of bamboo. I attached one and then went to the opposite side and attached the other one, so that way I would have even pressure as I was working my way around the lantern. Once the top ring was attached to the top part of the bamboo, I did the same thing as I did to the bottom ring in the bottom pieces of bamboo. I used the raffia to wrap the X pattern with some hot glue around each piece of bamboo and the ring to secure it really good. I feel like those extra pieces of raffia at the top and the bottom made this lantern more sturdy. Next, I took 3 strands of raffia and I just twisted them together. And then Once they were all twisted together, I wrapped them around the middle of the lantern. I kind of pulled tightly so that way I would bring in some of those bamboo pieces if they were kind of pushed out a little bit too far, so that gave more of a lantern shape, but I didn't pull too hard. And then I just hot glued both of those pieces to one of the pieces of bamboo. And then I did that again 2 more times on the top and the bottom of the lantern, just to give it some more interest and to look a little bit more decorative. Now all that was left to do was add the handle back on, and I just squeezed the handle to make it fit in between the smaller ring on the top now, and that was it. It's a cute little boho outdoor lantern. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Make sure to click on the playlist linked down below in the description box to watch the other ladies. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.